Since I talked about these new Evangelion films in pretty broad terms in my last video, I'm going to go over just one scene that I think acts as a microcosm of all of Rebuild's problems. The scene that I'm talking about is the one where Shinji loses control of AV Unit 1 to the dummy plug. Since this was a pretty cool scene in the show, I'm going to be drawing some comparisons. So the first difference that the viewer is going to notice is the choice in music. In Evangelion, they played the song from the soundtrack called The Beast. In Rebuild, they play this gay kindergarten rainbow shit that doesn't fit the scene at all. And here's my problem with exactly that. Every studio under the sun has had some cheerful, happy music play over an unfitting, brutal scene. Literally anyone can make this kind of scene. It's not even hard.
Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night.
What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
So the song being there in the first place is arguably some bandwagon, Me Too, gimmicky think put into ink by corporate chinks, but if you compare it to the scene from Evangelion, you'll see that it's even more devoid of creativity. In Evangelion, the song they play, The Beast, is already associated with Shinji losing control of AV Unit 1, because that's the song that plays when AV Unit 1 goes into Berserk. So the viewer already has an audio cue to know exactly what's going on. Not only that, but the general feel of the song really fits a scene of a robot monster ripping apart another one. Also in Evangelion, Shinji doesn't know who's in the Evangelion he's ripping apart. Shinji is flipping shit just because he knows there is someone in there, which I think goes a long way for demonstrating that Shinji really is a good, empathetic person at heart. And the lyrics to the song in Rebuild is just about wanting to hang out with your friends and be all happy and stuff. And it definitely can be argued that that's sort of an escapist fiction thing because Shinji doesn't want to be ripping apart his friends. Rebuild actually used this idea like 10 times better in the same movie. At the end of 2.0, it plays this song, Give Me Wings, which, yeah, it sounds like it's sung by a first grade choir. But the song does pick up and become really grand and epic, just like the scene you're watching. Also, the song's lyrics are about escaping the hardships of life and the fantasy of just flying away. And the scene is Shinji trying to reverse the death of Rei because he can't take the loss. Having an escapist fiction song there makes a lot more sense than earlier in the movie. In the dummy plug scene, Shinji doesn't even know what he's supposed to be escaping from because Rob the Robot reaches over him to play the greatest game of Gyromite the world has ever seen. Then they go for the old switcheroo, because they've already raped a great scene from Evangelion, so they're gonna throw in some referential fan service. The first one is that when Unit 1 is ripping apart Asuka's Eva, it hunches over and starts eating it, just like Unit 1 does in Evangelion when it goes berserk. This didn't fill me with some fanboy ecstasy. All it did was make me look back and feel sad because we're never gonna get any of those scenes, and Berserk is just going to be a Deus Ex Machina in Rebuild. The second one is Evangelion Unit 1 stomping on the Big Pyramid, which at first I thought was pretty brilliant. The problem is that this scene and the scene it's referencing don't have similar meanings at all. In End of Ava's scene, Shinji stomps on the pyramid because he's all alone again, and it's a metaphor for the fact that he can't find trust or value in himself without other people depending on him or helping him along the way. In Rebuild, it's just because he's pissed off at his dad because he got screwed over. I mean, it's a good reason to be pissed, I just don't see a whole lot of deep meaning in it. And really, if they were going to play into Shinji being pissed at Gendo this much, they missed a really good opportunity. In Evangelion, when Gendo punishes Shinji for what he's done, He refers to it as childlike intimidation. Now, wouldn't that make you feel small? You went on a rampage in a robot, and all it's being called is a temper tantrum. He just doesn't call it that in Rebuild, which really, it's not like that would have took anything away. This change makes no sense. That's why I say that this is just a microcosm of all the Rebuild movies and all their problems. They play into this soulless gimmick that no one has figured out is dead yet. They make changes that don't add any value whatsoever and take some away. And they act pretentious, which isn't a word that I use very often, but I think applies here. And they're almost willing to point to the fact that they're removing great scenes from the show. So yeah, it's pretty clear that I don't like these movies. I didn't like watching this scene. I don't like anything new. It's all garbage.